I, female 23, have been told my entire life that if anything happens to my parents, I will be my sister's guardian. She's 33 and has some disabilities. She's currently living in a group home. The government pays for a good portion of the cost, but not all. My parents have made sure that they've accessed every resource available for her to ensure she has as good a life as possible. We were visiting her last weekend when they brought it up again. They're both reasonably healthy but had health scares in the last couple of years. They once again said that I would be her guardian. I've been giving this a bit of thought. I have 2 older brothers, they're both married and established in their careers. They would be better choices than I am. I want to go see the world. I'm lucky enough that my job can be done from anywhere that I can access the internet. When we went out to dinner, I brought it up and said I had 3 ideas. They made all 3 of us her guardians so we could split the responsibilities and duties. They leave their entire estate to my sister in a trust that will oversee her care. They leave me their entire estate with the proviso that I become her sole guardian and take full responsibility, minus sentimental stuff for the rest of my family, obviously. I thought that was fair since it's not like they're rich and their estate will mostly consist of their house and the insurance policies they took out when they realized the long-term costs of care for my sister. They said that I was trying to shirk my responsibility to my sister and that I was greedy for trying to get everything. I had one last suggestion and they really hated it. I said that they're welcome to cut me completely out of their will, but that had to include guardianship of my sister. They could leave everything to her and my brothers, but that meant I would be completely free of responsibility for her care. My dad got really angry and my mom started crying when I left. My brothers both called me to say I was being an idiot springing this on my parents, and that I was being greedy trying to keep them and their families from getting anything when our parents passed away. I asked both of them if they wanted 100% responsibility for our sister in return for the entire estate. I volunteered to sign away everything to them. Neither one took me up on the offer. Not the idiot. Love how your brothers are mad because you're calling out this misogynistic BS. So your parents want to put your entire life on hold to care for your sister with no actual benefit? Why would you do that? I mean, yes, it's not your sister's fault, but it's also not your fault. Splitting 3 ways is fair. Absolutely agreed. Your brothers want 1/3 of the estate, but you do all the care because you're the female? Psh, stand your ground. Your parents are idiots for dumping all of this on a young woman. Not that you couldn't handle it, just that it's not fair when other family members could help. You sound pretty grounded, though, and willing to advocate for yourself. I hope you have a great life. Good luck with this situation. Agree with everything except one point. The parents are not kind of idiots here, they are tremendous idiots and created the illusion that OP only existed to support the sister. They're the ones who didn't set up their will to pay for the sister's needs. Part of me wonders if they purposely decided to have OP set her up as a guardian for life, or if they decided that since she was the only girl, it would be her duty. Neither way is even a little bit acceptable. Your parents and brothers hope to take advantage of you and your generosity, but I don't believe you can be compelled to accept guardianship of your sister, by the way. Your parents are in a fairyland thinking they can pass this enormous responsibility to you, the youngest sibling with the fewest resources, just because you're the girl. Your sister is not your responsibility in any way. Time to go no contact with the family. They don't love you, they see you as the way to offload their burden. My 30 male wife, 29, has a case of type 2 diabetes that runs in her genes. Even though my wife knows that she has diabetes, she doesn't seem to care at all that she has diabetes. She hasn't been on a strict medication that her doctor has set her, which has been some foods, and she's not allowed to eat fried or sugary stuff as this will raise her sugar levels. Yesterday I went to the shop and she came with me, and I bought what we needed to get and she just followed along with me. As we're at the register, she says that she needs to go to the toilet and will meet me outside. When I'm done paying, I go outside only to see my wife opening a packet of Haribo, which the doctor says she's not allowed to eat. I quickly run over before she opens it, and I grab it out of her hand and throw it in the bin. She starts getting angry, saying that I'm an idiot and an overprotective idiot, and she starts crying, almost saying how it's not fair that she's not allowed to eat sweets. I tell her to stop and say I cannot let her eat that. She grabs my keys for my car and she drives away, leaving me at the shop. I call her over and over and she doesn't pick up. I'm absolutely furious at her and start walking home. As soon as I'm home, I see her eating fried food on the sofa, and I grab the food out of her hand, saying, "You cannot eat that." I also yelled at her, saying she was selfish, leaving me at the shop like that. She doesn't care, picks up the food, shoves it up my face, calls me an idiot and leaves the house. I don't know where she is and not sure if I'm the idiot. I love her a lot and I can't let her eat those types of foods as it's bad for her. Am I the idiot? Edit, she's taking metformin every day. I don't know if she was lying to me as she goes to the doctor alone and doesn't want me to come with her. Everyone's the idiot here. Your heart is in the right place, but your wife is a grown woman with the right to decide what she will and will not eat, even when her decisions are stupid, selfish and against medical advice. Grabbing food out of her hand is not okay. That said, if this is something you simply can't tolerate, let her know that you will not stick around to watch her slowly digging an early grave for herself. You don't have to be there to watch her make bad decisions, but you can't treat her like a child. What on earth is wrong with you that you think it's okay to physically remove food from your partner's hands and criticize them as you do? I'll wait. Your partner is responsible for their health, warden. Were I in her place, I'd have been packing your crap into suitcases while you walked home. You are the idiot so many times, and more for thinking you're justified in your absolute crap behavior. Did she physically remove the keys from his hand? What is wrong with you that you think it's okay to physically remove transportation from your partner and leave them stranded in town? You are not the idiot, and this problem is much bigger than a packet of Haribos. It sounds like she's intent on eating herself into the grave, or amputation and loss of eyesight, and your efforts will likely make it worse. I'm sorry. Update. Thank you guys for commenting and giving advice. I appreciate it a lot and I realise I was being overprotective and shouldn't have done what I did. As sad as it is for me, I feel like I should file for divorce or at least spend time apart. I just cannot let myself be with someone who doesn't care about her health and is throwing her life away. My 23 female sister, 30, had a son tween years ago and her behaviour changed after he was born. My sister used to be a rational and kind person, but when her son was growing up, I noticed that she didn't put any limits on him. He ran around our parents' house and broke many things on purpose, and he still throws tantrums when my parents try to correct him. When our parents do that, she comes running and argues with them, saying that her son is like that because he's autistic. However, there's no proof of this. I've taken her to consultations with autism specialists, and everyone said her son wasn't autistic, but she keeps telling people he is to justify his bad behaviour. Last week was my niece's birthday, my brother's daughter, and everyone in the family was there. My sister's son started throwing a tantrum when he saw that the cake wasn't for him. He started screaming, crying, and trying to destroy the cake. Fortunately, my brother stopped him in time, but when she caught him, my sister came running, saying that he couldn't use physical force against a child because he is an autistic child. I just couldn't bear to hear that. I was already off limits. So I yelled at my sister and told her son was not autistic, but a spoiled brat, with no boundaries and poorly raised. She looked at me in shock and many family members looked the same. She left with her son without waiting for the cake and then sent me dozens of messages saying that I was an idiot, prejudiced against autistic people, and that she expected an apology. I really like my sister, and now I think maybe I overreacted by yelling at her at a family event. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. People that try and use autism as an excuse for their kids being crap are the worst, especially if the kid doesn't even have autism. Even if her son turns out to be autistic, that doesn't mean he doesn't need discipline and rules. Being autistic requires a precise diagnosis and then therapy. If he's actually autistic at his age, he should be well into that therapy. It sounds like even if he is autistic, he's not getting the treatment he needs. No, you misunderstand. It's not an excuse for his bad behaviour. She loves being the autistic kid's mom and all the attention and sympathy that garners her, I'm sure of it. Your sister has some serious mental health issues and should seek counselling for that. To label your child as autistic when they aren't and have them grow up believing they have a disability that they don't have is child abuse. Your sister is just a crappy parent. Here is a classic case of a parent spoiling their child. The tantrum when he realised the cake was for someone else's birthday was not his is an obvious sign. Tell your sister to stop spoiling her child or the kid will grow up to be a crappy human being. I would even consider calling CPS if she continues the BS. Have you noticed how many people have labels now to excuse their crappy behaviour? And literally every time I ask, "When were you diagnosed?" "I'm so sorry," etc., without fail, not one is being diagnosed by a medical professional. It drives me crazy because I have PTSD and a couple of other things that were diagnosed after years of trying to get help. I don't know if they think it's cool or a get-out-of-jail-free card, but it makes me so angry because you still need to try to be a decent human being. My 26 female sister Layla, 32, recently lost her job, so she can't afford her apartment anymore. She's a single mother of 2 twin boys, pre-tween. I live alone with my cat, but I have a pretty good job that makes it so I can afford a nice 4-bedroomed house. Since I have room, I decided to let Layla and the boys move in until she can find another apartment or job. I only have a few rules for them, basic stuff like if you break something, pay me back, keep things clean and stuff like that. Except there's one rule that they seem to be having trouble with. I told Layla that no matter the circumstances, never let my cat into the garden. My cat is very prone to eating stuff he isn't supposed to, including the flowers in my garden. One time I accidentally let him out and he chewed through some of them completely, so then I decided just to put him in my room whenever I go to the garden. A few weeks ago when I was at work, Layla told me the boys had accidentally let him into the garden. Thankfully, he didn't get out or anything, but he destroyed some of my roses again. I told Layla to put him in my room next time the boys went out to the garden, and she told me she would. Lo and behold, a week or so later, he gets into the garden again. My garden is pretty big, so I was pretty worried when I couldn't find him. Thankfully, after a few minutes of panic, I found him hiding behind a large bush, so he was fine. Scared me to death, though, so I told Layla if it happened again, they could find another place to live. She got pretty mad at me and told me it was an accident, so I should just chill out. It's not that hard to put a cat in a room while you're in the garden. I do it all the time. I thought Layla had gotten the picture after that because she listened to me and started shutting him in my room. But around 2 days ago, he got out again. This time he actually did escape and I had to track him down. When I got home, Layla just said she was so sorry and that she just forgot to put him in my room. I was furious at this point. I mean, how hard is it to put a cat in a damn room? I told her that she better start packing her stuff because I would not let her keep putting my cat's health in danger because she just couldn't bring herself to lock a room. My parents don't have room for them all at their house, so Layla is staying with them while her ex-husband takes the boys. She's angry at me for kicking her out over nothing, and my mom is too, but my dad thinks she deserved it. Am I the idiot for kicking her out? She's been calling me a monster for separating her and her kids. Not the idiot. They had 1 job and 3 chances. It tells a lot about Layla's attitude that she says you're kicking her out over nothing. Yeah. When you need a roof over your head and someone else is kind enough to provide one, it's on you to ensure you're as little trouble to them as possible. It's a simple, reasonable room for the cat's safety, and your sister really doesn't seem to care if she ends up repaying your kindness by potentially letting your cat eat something poisonous in the yard. If she's not responsible enough to care for a cat, how is she responsible enough for twin children? Her current living situation with parents and kids with ex directly results from their behavior and actions. I hate when people blame their circumstances on other people when in fact their situation is a result of their own actions. Also, the kids have their father, so they aren't homeless and she can figure out her situation. My daughter's nearly adult closet is an absolute pigsty. You can't even see the floor. It's nearly knee-deep in stuff. I've been after her for weeks to clean it up and she keeps saying, "I'll do it later." I had enough and told her she could not go out with friends or her boyfriend until her closet was clean. Unfortunately, that week she had work and prior commitments at school, so she had only one free afternoon when she was going to see her therapist. She is in therapy for depression and anxiety. She was also going to go with her boyfriend's family on a day trip that following weekend, so I figured missing that would finally get through to her to get it done after several weeks of constantly putting it off. Instead, she cancelled her therapy appointment, as it was her only free afternoon, because she didn't want to miss going with her boyfriend this weekend. Her therapist said I was wrong to do this because she needed her therapy and this was a dumb hill to die on. I told her she's been putting this off for weeks and won't listen, and I don't know how else to get through to her. I refuse to live like a slob. Edit, I didn't tell her cancel therapy to clean your closet. I said, if you want to go out with your boyfriend or anyone this week, closet needs to be cleaned before then. I told her how she budgets her time is up to her, just get it done. She chose to cancel the appointment to get it done. You are the idiot. Do you realize that disorganization, messiness, or in your words, slob, is one of the many symptoms of depression? Since her closet, why are you worried about her closet, is still messy, she's likely still in a depressive state and needs to go to therapy. Talk about putting your needs above your kids, and your need is a clean closet in her personal space. A lot of girls with ADHD get misdiagnosed with depression and anxiety. So instead of picking a fight over the closet, OP could use it to gauge the daughter's mental health. And she might ask her daughter's therapist to think about whether there's any chance ADHD might be involved. Too many women spend years being treated for the wrong issue and never getting better. Geez, wonder why she needs that therapy so badly. OP is blowing her top over her daughter's closet. She shouldn't be worried about it. Forcing your kids to clean will not make them clean, people. OP sounds kind of like the controlling type of clean freak. Your relationship with your kid will be way better if you manage your own business, especially because this is a teen. I'm afraid I have to disagree. OP's not the idiot. The daughter chose to cancel her therapy appointment over missing time with her boyfriend over the weekend. Let me repeat myself. She chose to cancel her therapy appointment over missing a weekend with her boyfriend to clean her closet. She could have still attended therapy, but instead she chose to cancel her therapy appointment. OP did not tell her to cancel her therapy appointment over the dirty closet. OP told her daughter that she couldn't go out with friends or boyfriend until the closet is cleaned, which, as a teenager myself, is completely reasonable if the closet is messy like OP states it is. It shouldn't be a whole day affair. If her daughter put her mind to it and simply cleaned her closet, it would probably be done in an hour, maybe 3. The daughter made her choice but is blaming her mother. Missing one therapy session will not kill her daughter, and maybe from here she may be able to keep her closet and room clean so as not to have to deal with such a thing again. You live and you learn. But OP still didn't make any wrong decisions. It was good parenting. Choices have consequences, and OP is just being a mom and not letting her get away with it.